Have you ever noticed that almost everything you do in life is actually an attempt to feel happy? You study to build a future, you work to earn money, you earn money to survive. You chase relationships, success, entertainment, recognition, and comfort because somewhere deep inside you believe those things will finally give you peace. But here's the strange part. Even after achieving many of those things, most people still feel incomplete, still anxious, still searching. So the real question is not, how do we live? The real question is, why are we living in the first place? And if we don't know the answer to that question, we can spend an entire lifetime running in circles without ever understanding ourselves. Today, I want to explore 3 life-changing truths that most people never stop to think about deeply enough. These ideas are simple, but if you truly understand them, they can completely change the way you see your life, your struggles, your goals, and even your happiness. This is not about religion, motivation, or fantasy. This is about understanding the human mind and the way we spend our lives chasing things that often fail to give us lasting fulfillment. Let's begin with the first truth. Most people are alive, but very few people actually know why they are alive. Think about it carefully. Why do you wake up every morning? Maybe you say it's for work, school, family, responsibilities, or survival. But if we keep asking why again and again, eventually every answer leads back to one thing. We do everything because we believe it will help us feel better, safer, happier, or more complete. Even success itself is usually just a different form of searching for happiness. But here's where things become dangerous. Many people never consciously decide what their life truly means. They simply inherit goals from society. From childhood, we are told what happiness should look like. Good grades, a good job, money, marriage, status, a perfect lifestyle. And without realizing it, we start chasing someone else's definition of fulfillment. We become busy without becoming aware, productive without becoming peaceful. Imagine living 70 or 80 years constantly moving from one goal to another, only to realize at the end that you never actually stopped and asked yourself what kind of life would truly make you feel alive. That's why the first truth is so important. Your life needs meaning beyond routine survival. Otherwise, life becomes an endless cycle of waking up tired, solving problems, distracting yourself, and repeating the same patterns until time quietly disappears. Now here's the second truth, and this is where most people get trapped for their entire lives. Happiness is not something you find outside yourself, it's something you uncover within yourself. At first, that sounds simple, but think about how we actually live. We are constantly trained to believe happiness exists somewhere else, in the next relationship, the next salary increase, the next phone, the next vacation, the next achievement, the next moment. We turn happiness into a destination instead of a state of being. And because of that, we unknowingly create a painful cycle. We chase something, we finally get it, we feel excited for a short time, then the excitement fades and suddenly the mind starts searching again. Another target, another desire, another distraction. The cycle never ends. Look closely at modern life. People are more connected than ever before, yet loneliness is increasing. Entertainment is everywhere, yet anxiety keeps growing. Technology keeps advancing, yet inner peace seems harder to find. Why? Because external comfort cannot permanently solve internal emptiness. There's a powerful example to understand this. Imagine someone desperately trying to discover what silence sounds like. So they travel the world listening to every song, every voice, every sound possible, hoping one day they'll finally hear silence. But the truth is, silence is not another sound hidden somewhere in the world. Silence appears only when the noise stops. Happiness works the same way. Many people search endlessly for happiness through stimulation, possessions, validation, or achievement. But lasting peace often appears not when we gain more, but when we stop depending on external things to complete us. That doesn't mean money, relationships, or success are bad. It simply means they cannot become the foundation of your inner peace. Because if your happiness depends entirely on things outside your control, your emotional life becomes fragile. Real peace begins when you can enjoy life without desperately needing life to go your way all the time. When your mind is no longer constantly chasing the next thing to feel complete, something incredible happens. You begin experiencing moments more deeply. Simple things become meaningful again. Conversations feel richer. Time slows down. Gratitude grows naturally. You stop living like someone running toward happiness and start living like someone capable of creating it from within. And that leads to the third truth: stop postponing your life. One of the greatest illusions humans have is believing there will always be more time. We delay our peace, delay our dreams, delay becoming healthier, delay spending time with people we love, delay personal growth, delay self-reflection. We tell ourselves we'll start later when life becomes easier, when we become richer, when we become less busy, when the timing feels perfect. But life rarely announces how much time remains. The future feels guaranteed until suddenly it is. Every day, people leave this world with unfinished conversations, unfulfilled dreams, unresolved pain, and unlived lives. Yet most of us continue acting as if we are immortal. We spend years preparing to live instead of actually living. Think about how often people sacrifice their present completely for some future moment where they finally expect happiness to begin. Once I graduate, then I'll be happy. Once I make more money, then I'll relax. Once I buy this house, then life will feel complete. But many people reach those milestones only to discover the mind immediately creates another condition for happiness. That's why postponing inner growth is so dangerous. If you don't learn how to experience peace now, no future achievement will magically teach it to you later. The truth is, life is uncertain for every human being. Nobody truly knows how much time they have. And strangely, that uncertainty is not meant to create fear. It's meant to create clarity. When you remember life is temporary, meaningless distractions lose power. Petty arguments feel smaller. Ego becomes less important. You begin paying attention to what actually matters. You start appreciating ordinary moments instead of constantly escaping them. You start realizing that being present with people you love is more valuable than impressing strangers. You start understanding that peace of mind is a greater form of wealth than endless status chasing. And maybe most importantly, you stop waiting for permission to become the person you truly want to be. So if there's one thing I hope you remember from this conversation, it's this. Your life is not just about surviving. It's not just about paying bills, collecting achievements, or endlessly chasing approval. Your life is an opportunity to become deeply aware of yourself, your mind, your choices, and the kind of existence you want to create before your time runs out. The first truth is that your life needs conscious meaning, not just automatic routine. The second truth is that happiness cannot permanently be found outside yourself. And the third truth is that the best time to begin changing your life is not someday in the future, it's now. Because at the end of the day, life is not measured only by how long we live. It's measured by how deeply we experience it, how peacefully we carry ourselves, and how honestly we learn to understand who we really are. And maybe the greatest tragedy is not death itself. Maybe the greatest tragedy is reaching the end of life without ever truly waking up while you were alive.